All of a sudden, we know we are within 6 weeks of the launch of Breath of the Wild. Nintendo has started pumping out tons of new information. For this week's analysis, let's zoom out a little and look at the bigger picture. You're watching Zelda Pod Smashers. We now have way too much information for one YouTuber to analyze. A few weeks ago, a screenshot of a new area was exciting news. We were so hungry for Breath of the Wild that any detail seemed important. For this video, let me talk about Nintendo's final weeks of promotion before the game is out, the decision to release the game on 2 consoles, how Nintendo often showed us big spoilers for their Zelda games, and how I plan to keep my channel spoiler free. First, let's take a look at what Nintendo showed us last weekend. They were such a big tease by keeping us in the dark about Breath of the Wild for as long as possible. For a while, I was sure it wouldn't make launch. But then, wow, March 3 worldwide, so much sooner than anyone expected. And that trailer was just superb. As a video editor myself, I know they put a lot of effort into it. And of course they're working with some quality material. The scenes are gorgeous, the music is epic, and the gameplay shows so much potential. That was further demonstrated by some new gameplay. A select group of journalists got the chance to go off the Great Plateau, but they weren't allowed to play themselves. A Nintendo employee was playing for them. That's why all gameplay videos are pretty much the same. They catch a horse, ride to a stable, and die to a guardian. But it does show just how much there is to do. So last weekend, Nintendo entered their final phase of promotion for their most exciting game for Wii U and Switch. I have to mention how brilliant it was to bring this to Switch. I know some people are still disappointed by the delay, but imagine this would have come only out on the Wii U late last year. Yes, we would have been playing it for a while now, but we'd never get the prettier version. And in a few years, we'd have to dust off our old console to replay the game, instead of having it on the console that we're using every day. Also, game sales wouldn't have been as high as they can be now. At best, the game would have made some more people buy a Wii U, which was already dying, if not dead already. But now, Nintendo launches an exciting new console with a must-have game. Do you know which Zelda is the second best sold game so far, closely behind Ocarina of Time? It's Twilight Princess for the Wii. And that wasn't even a very innovative game, but people wanted it because it was an epic adventure game available at launch. Breath of the Wild has so much more potential on Switch than it has on Wii U. And in the end, that's good for us Zelda fans, because it means better and more future Zelda games. About the graphical differences, I've read people say that Nintendo has deliberately made the Wii U version uglier to sell Switches. Or that the Wii U version may have been vastly improved since E3, making it on par with the Switch version. I wish the Wii U version could be better, but the truth is that the Switch is more powerful than the Wii U, even in handheld mode. The U version may have improved a little, but don't expect much. Other than the graphics and the sound, Aonuma says that there are no differences between the versions. So don't expect that HD rumble to provide a unique experience, or optional motion controls to be in the game. Now what they could do is add features to the Switch version at some point in the future. The base game would be the same on both consoles, but there could be patches or DLC just for the Switch version. But this would probably annoy Wii U gamers. I plan to discuss this topic in a podcast sooner or later. Now that we're a few months away from release, Nintendo is going to be putting out more and more information. Let's take a look at how they handled this with previous Zelda games. With the last one, A Link Between Worlds, we had already known who the villain was for a while. But a week before release, Nintendo was also showing the plot twist in the middle of the game, where an even bigger villain showed up. I didn't like that at all. I would have preferred being surprised while playing the game. With Skyward Sword, Nintendo even revealed the final form of the mice before launch, which upset a lot of fans. I missed the spoiler myself, so it was a great surprise when I played the game. But will they do something similar with Breath of the Wild? That is a reason for me to go spoiler-free with our channel, but more about that in a few minutes. Looking back at the previous games, what is different this time is that we still don't know the timeline placement of Breath of the Wild. With A Link Between Worlds, they outright told us it was a sequel to A Link to the Past. For a while we thought it was maybe the same Link, but later they revealed that it was actually centuries later. The timeline placement wasn't a secret at all, but that made sense because the overworld was so similar to that of A Link to the Past. Skyward Sword was also quickly presented as the new first game in the timeline. It made sense to reveal the timeline placement, because the story was all about the history of the Master Sword, known as the Skyward Sword. And if you look at older games, it's always been pretty clear how they were connected with at least some other games. Now with Breath of the Wild, we have no clue. But also in this case, I'm thinking it makes sense for Nintendo. I think they're up to something special here. They have already said a few times that they want people to discover while playing the game. And look at the buzz that this has created so far. The amount of timeline theories is astounding. And here we are, analyzing all the details just to get some clues about the timeline. In interviews of the past week, several people have asked Aonuma about the timeline again. And again, he doesn't want to give anything away. So whatever Nintendo will reveal in the coming weeks, I doubt the timeline placement will be among that. Nintendo is deliberately keeping it a mystery. But that doesn't stop them from releasing lots of other information. They already started showing off the different areas. Their recent gameplay footage showed off horse mechanics, and I assume we'll find out more about other mechanics as well. And then they will probably reveal more of the story. I don't mind finding out more about the gameplay, but I dread story spoilers. I just know I will enjoy these details a lot more while playing the game. And remember, it's less than 6 weeks away. That is why I have decided to keep my channel free of story spoilers and focus my analysis on game mechanics. Some examples of upcoming topics: how do the horses work in the game? How does Nintendo tell a story while world progression is non-linear? How will Nintendo balance the difficulty? And what can we find out about the weather and the temperature system? I already know I can tell you a lot more than what we've seen so far. Oh, and next to story spoilers, I will avoid showing off too many details of the game if it's not part of a larger mechanism. For example, I didn't show the new shrine footage in my last video. If a shrine doesn't puzzle me anymore, it's not a puzzle, it has become a chore. I also noticed a few cool details in the gameplay that I'm not going to show. Just small things that are going to excite us while playing the game. That was what I made of last week's news. I still plan to do an analysis video of things you and other YouTubers probably missed in that trailer. But the upcoming analysis video about horses in Breath of the Wild might be out sooner, so I hope you'll look forward to both videos. Somebody recently asked me if I'm on Discord. Actually I am. I made an account when some other Zelda YouTubers invited me for their channel. I'm thinking about starting a Pot Smashers channel for feedback, video ideas, etc. Let me know if you'd be interested in that, because I haven't decided yet. Either way, you know I'll be reading all the comments and I reply to most of them. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and thanks for watching Zelda Pot Smashers.